Okay, so today we'll start with the next point of this particular chapter number 3, that is industrial safety. In the last lecture, we have covered all the ergonomic concept, the concept related to the man-machine system, then the concept related to the applications of the ergonomic concept in the industry. Then we have discussed about the various types of displays and various types of the controls, which are plays very important role as a ergonomic concept. Then we have discussed about the workplace design. That means whenever we have to operate any machine, any equipment, or that operator or the worker, if he has to work in that particular workplace, how that particular workplace should be there. That design also we have discussed under the concept of the ergonomics. Then we have discussed about the anthropometry data. What is meant by the anthropometry? That means measuring the dimensions of the human body. And according to that particular human body dimensions, we have to design that particular workplace. That concept is called as a anthropometry data. So in that, we are taking all the dimensions of the human body, and according to that particular dimensions, we are designing the table of the operator, we are designing the chair of the operator, or we are designing any type of machine or equipment which is to be useful for that particular operator. Then we have discussed about the last point related to the working conditions, means working environment. So whenever the operators are working in any type of environment, that environment should be comfortable. Means we are considering the noise and vibrations, their adverse effects on the performance of the human body, and if we have to avoid that particular effects of the noise and vibration, what care should be taken. Then illumination means which types of lighting should be provided. If the lighting is not provided in the proper way, how it should be affects on the performance, and what care should be taken for during providing that particular all the types of illuminations. Then we have discussed about the thermal conditions. In that we have discussed about the temperatures, humidity, and the air flows. So which types of temperature should be suitable? Sometimes temperature is increases, sometimes temperature is to be decreases. At that time, what care should be taken? Then humidity, air flows, that parts also we have discussed in the last lecture. And last we have discussed about the ventilation. Ventilation is very important parameter, because in any types of industries, some chemical industries, some hazardous operations we are doing. At that time, some fumes, smokes are to be generated, that we have to set to the environment. Therefore, the proper ventilation should be provided. Now, we'll discuss about the second part of this particular chapter, which is called as the industrial safety. So why this particular industrial safety is to be provided? Because whenever we are working in any type of workplace or any type of machine or any type of equipment, some of the instruments or some of the operations are very hazardous, and it will be effects on the human body. That means there may be possibility of accidents. So as we know that many times due to some faulty operations or due to some mistakes which is to be happen from that particular operator or the worker, the accidents are to be happening in that particular industry. And once the accidents are happening, that accidents will be effects on the overall performance, or it will be effects on the human body. That means there may be possibility of some injuries, there may be possibility of death of any worker due to some faulty operation. That means accident is one of the term which is to be not developed. It is not required to develop the accidents, or it is not required to happen the accidents in the industry. What is our requirement? Without any accident, without any problem, all the work should be completed in the proper way, without any defects or without any injury to that particular operator. Therefore, in this particular industrial safety, we are going to discuss about the definitions of the accidents. Then we'll discuss about the what are the basic causes that is accident is to be happen. If accidents are to be happening, what care should be taken? That means we are discussing about the prevention of the accidents. So that part we are going to discuss in this particular industrial safety. Just wait. Just wait for the 5 minutes. Wait for the few minutes. Maybe I'm facing some technical problem while changing the slide.
ते कोणत्या आहे का वायर बेकॉम केली कुठल्या आहे ती अरे कुणाला काय काय सांगा मला
So just wait, I will resolve the issue. दोन नंबर Okay, is my screen is visible to all? Please check. Anyone please reply. You please unmute from your side. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whether that point is visible, that's accident, definition of accident?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. Okay. So I'm facing some technical problem through the computer. So I'm trying to represent that particular PPT through my mobile only. Okay. So we are discussing about the industrial safety. Okay. So in that we are going to discuss about the definition of accident. So what is meant by the accident and why it is to be happening? As we know that maybe due to some faulty operations or maybe due to some mistakes which are to be happening from that particular operator or the worker, that accidents are to be happening. But what is the definition of the accident? Here I have written. It is an unexpected event. It is an unexpected event in the course of employment which is neither anticipated or nor designed to occur. Accident is not designed. It is a term which is to be not designed automatically due to some faulty operations, due to mistakes which are coming from that particular operator, or maybe some due to the emergency tool breakage, due to so many reasons are there due to which the accidents are to be happening. So if such types of the accidents are happening in the industry, there may be possibility of injuries to that particular operator, or if some heavy accidents are to be happening in the industry, there may be possibility of death of that particular worker who is working on that particular workstation. Therefore, the accident is one of the term which is neither designed. This is the term which is to be not designed. Automatically, that particular accidents are to be happen. Now, there are basic three causes of the accident. First one is a unsafe condition. What is meant by the unsafe conditions? So wherever the operators are working, at that time, if he is operating any type of machine or if he is working on any type of machine, at that time, if there is unsafe conditions, whatever the conditions are given to that particular operator, and in that particular unsafe condition, if your operator is working, again there may be possibility of accidents. Unsafe laws. Laws means whatever the rules are given. For example, the supervisor is there and that supervisor is guiding to their particular workers. But sometimes if that particular supervisor is guiding in the different way, or if it is guiding to the worker or the operator in the wrong way, maybe due to that particular improper directions, there may be possibility of accident. And there are some other causes like suddenly if the operator is working and he is starting that particular machine and he went for drinking the waters. So at that time, again, there may be possibility of that particular accident. Or maybe immediately if the tool will get break. So that breakage of the tool will also causes the accidents are to be happening. So there are so many causes are there, but out of that, there are basic three causes, that is unsafe condition. Wherever the operator is working, if he is working on any type of machine, if that machine is not safe, if he is using any type of instruments, that instrument is not safe. That means these are comes under the unsafe conditions. Then unsafe laws. Which operation process we are using, how many operations we are performing, which rule we are using to perform that particular operation, that all the laws, all the principle, all the different types of the processes that will becomes under the unsafe laws. And third is called as the other causes. I will explain. If immediately there is a breakage of tool, operator went for drinking the water and he is keeping that particular machine on. So like that also, or there may be possibility to happen that particular accidents. Again, instead of that, again there are some another important causes are there. In that first is a shortcuts. We know that there are so many operators are there in order to reduce the production time. So what they are doing the shortcuts. Means simultaneously performing the number of operations without using any different types of the devices, without using any safety devices. By using the shortcut process, they are performing the operations, and sometimes that shortcuts are also effects on the human body. Means due to that particular shortcut, the accidents are to be happening. The second cause is called as overconfidence. overconfidence of the operator. Sometimes some operators are in overconfidence that he can perform the job. Sometimes there is no any capability of that particular worker that he can perform it. But that particular worker or the operator, he is having overconfidence like that, I can perform it. Without any defect, without any problem, I can perform it. But sometimes if the capability of that particular operator is not there, and then also he is doing that particular operation, maybe the overconfidence of that particular operator, it is also one of the important cause for happening the accidents in the industry. Then lack of housekeeping. Lack of housekeeping means whatever your workstation is there, near to that particular workstation, so many components are there. At the right side, some raw material is there. At your back side, some another components are there. At your left side, some finished components are there. Then near to your workstation, some measuring instruments are there. Some drilling tools are there. Different types of the tools are there. So many important components are there near to that particular workstation. But whatever the raw material is available, whatever the another components are available, due to that particular lack of housekeeping also, it will be effects on that particular human body. Means there may be chances or there may be possibility of that particular accidents. So wherever that particular raw material is required, we can keep that particular raw material near to the workstation. But whatever the finished goods are there, immediately you have to transfer that particular finished goods to the store department. Therefore, you will get the free space, and in that particular free space, you can perform your task in the effective manner. This is the third important cause, that is lack of housekeeping. Then start the task before getting the necessary information. Sometimes what happens, the training is given to you or it is going on. Your supervisor is giving the training to you. And if you got the 50% information, based on that particular 50% information, you are starting your machine. But remaining 50% information, still you have not understood. But there also you have starting the machines, and due to that unnecessary operations, whatever the information you will not get at that time, there may be possibility of accidents. Therefore, whatever the work we have to start, whatever the job we have to perform, first of all, understood that particular job, understood that particular process in the proper way, take all the necessary information from your supervisor, and after that, you have to start your job. If you will take only 50% information and you are starting the job, but remaining 50% operation, you don't know. So at that time also, there may be possibility of accidents. Then neglecting safe precautions. What is mean by it? If we are performing your task, if you are doing your operation at some heavy duty components, or you are working at some temperature regions, wherever we are working at the temperature regions, you have to wear the hand gloves, you have to wear the helmets, you have to wear some ear plugs, you have to wear the aprons. So whatever the safety precautions are there, as per requirement of that particular workstation, you have to wear all that particular safety precautions. Therefore, if the accidents are happening, so it should not be effects on that particular human body. But sometimes some of the workers are in overconfidence. They are not using that particular safety precautions in the form of goggles, some face shields, some hand gloves, some ear plugs. So they are neglecting that, and this is the major cause due to which the accidents are happening. And the last one is called as a mental distraction. As we know that so many operators are there, they are having some of their family problems, and if that family problems comes in his mind when he is working on that particular operations, so he is unable to concentrate when he is performing the operation on that particular machine, and he is not concentrated properly, it will be effects on that particular performance, and there may be possibility of accidents. So what happens if you are performing the operation and in your mind some another thoughts are coming? Maybe your personal problem is there, maybe some financial problems are there. If such type of thoughts are coming in your mind when we are working on any type of machine, due to that particular thoughts, we are unable to give the full concentration on that particular operation. At that time, due to that particular mental distractions also, there may be possibility of accidents happening. So these are the near about 6 to 7 major causes due to which the accidents are happening in the industry. Now, if the accidents are happening, how to prevent it? No problem, accidents are happening due to some mistakes from the operator, due to some faulty operations or due to some faulty machines, the accidents are to be happening. But if we have to prevent that particular accidents, what care should be taken? That we are going to discuss now. Now, the first one is called as a proper safety measures. So, proper safety measures means what we have to do. Whatever some safety devices are there, maybe whenever it is required, if we are performing some welding operation, so that welding operation should not be performed without using the goggles. So, or we have to wear that particular hand gloves. So, if we will take all the protection devices, then if the accidents are happening, but it should not be having some adverse effect on that particular human body. Therefore, whatever the safety measures are there, whatever the safety devices are there, that safety devices we have to use whenever we are working in any type of operation or in any type of machine. Then proper selection. Proper selection means which manufacturing process we are using. So sometimes what happens, two manufacturing process we are having. We can perform your, or we can convert your raw material into the finished goods by using the operation process 1 or by using the process number 2. But the process 2 are having some disadvantages. The process 2 are having some disadvantages. That means if I will implement that particular process number 2 in my manufacturing, there may be possibility of accidents. That means you are selected the wrong process to convert your raw material into the finished goods. Therefore, before selecting the manufacturing process, the proper selection should be done. Whatever the equipments we are using, whatever another devices we are using, you have to select that particular equipments properly. You have to select your manufacturing process properly, and then only you have to start your operations. So this is the second requirement, that is proper selection. Safety conscious. So this is also related to your safety devices. Whatever the safety precautions we have to use, we have to wear that particular safety precautions, and it will be not affects on the human body. Then enforcements of the discipline. This is very important. Sometimes what happens, the operator or that particular worker is starting that particular machine. The operation is started, and he went for drinking the water. If he went for the drinking water due to some faulty process or due to some another operations, what happens? Immediately there may be possibility of breakage of the tool. Means again there may be possibility of accidents. Or some of the workers are not maintaining the discipline. They are not concentrated. They are not concentrated on their particular job. They are not concentrated on that particular operations. They are discussing with their another operator. They are wandering here and there by starting the machine. That means they are not maintaining or they are not following the proper disciplines. So if the disciplines are not followed, again there may be possibility of accidents happening. Then second is called as a incentives. What is meant by the incentives? Sometimes what happens, the accidents are happening due to which there is some problem of that particular operator. As I have given the example, if he is mentally distracted due to some financial problem or due to some his family problem, he is unable to concentrate on his job. If he is facing some financial problem, means he is working from last 10 years, but he has not got that much amount of salary. So maybe he is under some distraction. So at that time, if the workers who those who are doing some overtiming, at that time, some additional incentives, some additional amount we have to provide them. So that particular worker can work in the effective manner with full enthusiasm. So there may be possibility to reduce that particular accident. Then safety committee. We have to provide the safety committee also. Wherever your production department is there, so many operators, so many workers are working at that particular department. At that time, we have to prepare one safety committee. So what is the requirement of that particular safety committee? That safety committee will visit to that particular production department after 2 hours, after 3 hours every day. And he can observe how the workers are doing the work, whether they are following all the disciplines or whether they are working in the proper way, whether they are facing any types of problems. So in order to take the follow-up of that particular all the situations in the any type of department, we have to define or we have to form even safety committee. So through that particular safety committee, you will get the output at every 2 or 3 hours. Then proper maintenance. What is proper maintenance? Sometimes the machine is continuously working from last 2 to 3 years, but we are not doing the maintenance. If the machine is under the maintenance and then also we are performing the same operations or number of operations on that particular job. But after some time, if the maintenance of the machine is not doing, there may be possibility of some accidents, that is breakage of the tool, maybe some falling of some heavy components from top to bottom. So such types of so many components, so many situations are happening if the proper maintenance of that particular machine is not done. So what is the requirement? Every 2 to 3 hours or as per the requirement of that particular machine equipment, we have to perform the maintenance or we have to do the maintenance of that particular machine, and then we have to use that particular machine for your further use. And last is called as a safety training. So some unskilled operators are there. They are not having any idea about how to follow that particular all the rules, how to follow the disciplines, what care should be taken. So which types of the wearing is, which type of the safety devices they have to wear. So like that, so many parameters are there on which that some workers are unaware about that because they are unskilled operators. So before starting that particular operation, or if any new worker is to be joined, he is unskilled operator. At that time, before starting his work, we have to provide some safety training. Whatever your supervisor is there, that supervisor is going to provide some safety training. He will give some important information related to the safety, and then if he understood that particular all the concepts in the proper way, then and then only he has to start that particular job. So whenever the accidents are happening, there are so many causes are there to happen that particular accidents, but there are some preventions are also there. So if we will implement that all the preventions at that time, there may be possibility to prevent all those particular accidents. So accidents are happening, no problem. There are so many reasons are there, but if we have to remove that particular accidents, some prevention, some preventives are also we have to take in order to avoid that particular accident. So these are some causes and the preventions of the accidents. Need of the safety. What is the need of the safety? Here I have indicated. The safety in the industry helps increasing the production rate. This is very important. If again and again the accidents are happening, if the accidents are happening, how it will be affects? If the accidents are happening on any type of machine, we have to stop that particular machine. We have to go for the maintenance. That means whatever your total production is there, we have to stop that particular production. If the production is to be stopped, your production cost is increases, production time is increases, and it will be affects on the total productivity. Therefore, that safety is one of the important parameter which plays very important role. If I will implement that particular all the safety concepts in the industry, it helps to increase the production rate. If we will provide all the safety devices in the industry, workers can wear all the types of safety devices, he can follow all the rules, he can follow all the disciplines, all the machines are working properly, they are not under the maintenance, automatically your production rate is to be increases and there is a reduction in the production cost. If the production cost is reduced, your production maybe increases. Then third one, reducing the damage to the equipment and the machinery. If your machines are not properly they are not proper working, they are under the maintenance, again and again there is some problem with that particular machine. So there may be possibility to increase the production rate or there may be possibility to increase the damage. So if we will implement all the safety concepts in that particular industry, there is a possibility to reduce the damage of that particular equipment and the machine. Then fourth one, preventing premature death of the talented workers who are an asset to the society. Preventing premature death of talented workers. So some of the skilled workers are there, and if there is sometimes there may be possibility of some heavy accidents. So maybe high temperature liquids are will be comes in contact with that particular human body. So some heavy accidents are happening in the industry, and in such types of the accidents, so sometimes there may be possibility of death of that particular worker. So in order to avoid that particular situation, whenever we are working at some high temperature regions, whenever we are working at some heavy duty application regions, we have to follow all the rules, we have to wear all the safety devices. Therefore, the accident should not be happen, and if it is happening, it should not be effects on the human body. That means death of that particular worker, it should not be taking place. Therefore, we have to provide that particular safety devices. And last one is called as a preventing needless pain and suffering to its employee. So sometimes what happens, the accidents are happening, and in that particular accident, if the major accidents are happening, at that time, the major injuries are taking place to that particular human body. Maybe some breakage of that particular hands, then legs, it will be effects on the overall human body. Afterwards, that workers cannot be worked in the effective manner. So to avoid that particular further situations, what we have to do, we have to provide this particular safety concepts in the industry. So it will not be effects on the human body. So these are the some causes of the accidents, then prevention of the accidents, and if we will provide all the safety concepts, or if I will implement all the safety concepts in the industry, there may be possibility of increasing the production rate, reducing the production cost, reducing the damage of the equipment and the machinery, and due to that particular safety, you should not be, or that employee should not be suffering from the major damage. Therefore, the need of the safety, it plays very, very important role. So this is the basic requirement, that is need of the safety which is to be provided. Then safety measures essential in the industry. Safety measures essential in the industry. In that, what is the first requirement? Provide the wire mesh safety guards to all the rotating parts. As we know that there are some rotating components are there. Maybe they are rotating at some high RPM, 200 RPM, 300 RPM, 400 RPM, 500 RPM. That means if you take the example of pulleys, gears, some belts are there. They are rotating at very high RPM. So for such types of the machines or for such types of the rotating components, we have to provide some guards. So if there may be some losses of that particular rotating components due to that particular guard, it should not be come out from that particular machine, and it should not be affects on, or it should not be strike on that particular human body. Therefore, wherever the rotating components are there, maybe some pulleys, gears, belts are there. So for that particular rotating components, we have to provide some guards. Therefore, this particular guards are also plays very important role. Then high voltage equipment and other machines which cannot be properly guarded should be separated. Some of the high voltage machines are there, some other machines are there. It is not possible to provide some guards to that particular high voltage machines. But wherever such types of the machines are there, that some heavy duty application machines, it should be separated at separate regions. That heavy duty application machines, some high voltage equipment, it should not be provided at the common areas. Such types of the heavy duty machines, big machines, it should be provided at the separate areas where maximum times the workers are not comes in contact with that particular machine. Maybe some 1 or 2 workers can be operate that particular machines. Then some another components like pressure vessel. You know about the construction of the pressure vessel. The construction of the pressure vessel is very high. The function of the pressure vessel we know, to store the liquid or to store that particular air under the high pressure. So these are some heavy duty components are there. These are some heavy duty components are there. That heavy duty components we have to provide at the separate regions. Therefore, if the accidents are happening, it should not be effects on that particular human body. Then material handling equipment should have unobstructed path to move on. So material handling equipment, as we know that some of the material handling equipments are totally handled by the operator. Maybe some trolleys are there, some small another trolleys are there, some another material handling devices are there that are to be handled by the operator. And some heavy duty material handling equipments are also there. Maybe you can take the example of some tractors are there, some cranes are there, some another equipments are there which are called as a material handling equipment. That material handling equipment we have to handle in the proper way. There should be proper path should be defined. That means from one side your material is coming and from your another side the material will be go. If your incoming of the material and outgoing of the material, if it is provided on the same path, then there may be also possibility of accident. Therefore, if your workstation is located at one position, from right side raw material should be come, and at the left side, once your raw material is converted into the finished goods, at the left side that raw material is to be stored to the department. Therefore, we have to define the proper path to that particular material handling equipment. Then next one is called as a defective tools, defective hammers, spanners it should be replaced. Some of the defective tools are there, maybe hammer, some spanners are there. So these are the different types of the small equipments which are required to perform the operations. So such if that particular tool is defective, if the hammer is defective, whatever the spanner we are using for the another application, if this particular spanner is to be defective, at that time it is necessary or it is required to replace that particular defective components. If we are using that particular defective components to handle that particular machine, again there may be possibility of accidents. If they are creating the problems, we have to replace that particular hammer. You can take new hammer for your further application. You can take the new spanner set for your further application. And last one is called as a power should be switched off before repairing the equipment. Once your operation is performed, your product is designed or your product is totally, it is to be over. What is the requirement? We have to stop that particular machine. If the machine is started and we are taking that particular component in the on condition only, again there may be possibility of accidents. Now, if we have to go for the repairing of any type of equipment in the running condition, if we are repairing it, again there may be possibility of accidents. Therefore, If your task is performed, your operations are over, or if we have to go for the repairing of your equipment, what is our requirement? We have to switch off that particular machine, and then only we have to perform your further task. Therefore, these are the some safety measures which are essential in the industry. If we will provide all these particular safety measures in the industry, by some percentage, your accidents will be reduced. If these particular safety measures are not considered in the industry, there may be possibility to increase the number of accidents, and that accidents are having some adverse effect on the operators, on the industry also. Therefore, these safety measures are very essential in any type of industry. And now, this is related to all the industrial safety, in which we have discussed about the basic definition of accidents. Accidents should not be happen in the industry. This is our requirement. Then what are the basic causes? Unsafe conditions, unsafe laws, and other causes. These are the three major causes due to which the accidents are happening in the industry. In addition to that, we have discussed some another causes, that is overconfidence, some shortcuts. So many causes we have discussed due to which accidents are happening. If the accidents are happening and if we have to remove it, what prevention should be taken? That preventions also we have discussed. Then we have discussed about the need of the safety. If the safety factor is not implemented in the industry, how it will be affects on the production cost, how it will be affects on the productivity, how it will be affects on the overall efficiency of that particular organization. Therefore, the safety is one of the important concepts which we have to implement in the industry. And next is called as a safety measures. So wherever some high equipment, high voltage equipments are there, some heavy duty machines are there, such types of the machines, it is not possible to provide some guards, but such types of the machines can be separated at separate region. Therefore, if the accidents are happening, that accident should not having some adverse effect on the human body. Therefore, such high voltage equipments, heavy duty components, heavy duty machines, it can be segregated at some another locations. Then material handling equipments. So whenever we are handling the material handling equipments to transfer your raw material or finished goods from one location to the another location, the proper path should be defined. From one side, raw material should be come, and from another side, it can be shifted to the store department. Like that, we have to define the proper path to that particular material handling equipment. Then sometimes if I have to repair that particular machine, if I have to go for the maintenance, I'm using some of the tools like hammers, some spanners. But if that hammers, spanners, they are defective, so it is not possible to work in the effective manner. If we are using that particular faulty equipment for repairing, there may be possibility of accident. Therefore, immediately that faulty tools we have to replace and we have to take the new one. And the last point is related to the power. Once your operation is done, if we have to go for the maintenance of the machine, if we have to go for the repairing of the machines, what is the requirement? We have to switch off your machine, and then only we have to perform your next task. So this is about the industrial safety. So this is about the industrial safety. Okay. So with this, today we will stop here. In the next lecture, we will take the remaining small part is there, which is called as the Industrial Act. That Industrial Act we will take in the next lecture or in the tomorrow's lecture. Just hold, I will take the presentation and then you can do. Okay, roll number 1, 2,
Present, sir.
3,
Present, sir.
4, 5, 6,
Yes, sir.
7, 8, 9,
Yes, sir. 9.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Yes, sir.
17, 18, 19,
Yes, sir. 19.
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28,
Yes, sir.
29, 30, 31, 32, 33,
Yes, sir.
34,
33.
34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39,
Yes, sir.
40, 41,
Yes, sir.
42,
Yes, sir.
43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49,
Yes, sir. 49.
50, 51,
Yes, sir.
52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58,
Yes, sir.
59, 60, 61, 62, 63,
Yes, sir.
64, 65. Who is remaining?
Sir, 25.
Hmm.
9, sir, 9.
Hmm.